over the past couple of years. I thought I was lactose intolerant because I was having, indigestion problems, gut health issues, brain fog, you name it. I was having those kind of issues. So I, not putting two and two together, that I was eating a ton of grains, processed
Yeah,
grains. I was eating a ton of gluten, which now taking gluten out of the diet and adding raw dairy into the diet, I feel great. Feel the
yeah,
best I've ever felt in a very long time. So,
yeah,
um, you know, why how do we break this kind of stigma of like
yeah,
everybody's lactose intolerant and like, why should people start having like,
yeah.
raw dairy over normal dairy?
So yeah, this is a good example of like a false dichotomy in food. So like food, as people are aware of it, conventional food is bad. It makes everyone's obese, everyone's fat because of sort of conventional processed packaged diet that Americans have. So in response to that, it's very easy to say, okay, everything we eat is bad. Let's go the exact opposite way. So milk is bad, bread is bad. Let's throw it all out and replace it with something completely different. But then you run into the problems that we talked about earlier. Now you also have you have a processed thing. It looks very different. It has very different ingredients, but it's still processed and unnatural. The proper solution here is the middle ground where you took the thing that was bad, the processed food that everyone's used to, and just get rid of the bad parts. Make it good. You know, milk, for example, you go to the grocery store. So many problems with milk. First of all, it starts with what the cows, not even the cows, it's what the cows are fed. They're fed grains, which even if like grain like soy and corn were natural to the cow's diet, the soy and corn that they are fed are like GMO pesticide filled like soy and corn. So even if they did eat that naturally, it's still not healthy because like the crappy soy and corn. And the cows have their hormones, they're in warehouses, all this crap. So right off the bat, you have a sick animal. And then that's why you get the antibiotics because the cow's sick. So you get the antibiotics to keep it healthy. Absolute nightmare. The milk itself it's a disaster. Then you take this milk, and then you pasteurize it because the cow is sick. It's got like bacteria infested udders, and now the milk has bacteria in it. So then you pasteurize it, so you heat it to kill the bacteria. But then you also kill all the beneficial enzymes and like certain nutrients get denatured. Like vitamin C is in raw milk, but it's not in pasteurized milk. Um, so then you got rid of all those enzymes and the bacteria that also help you digest lactose. People are like lactose intolerant, sure. Like lactose tolerance happens in your gut. The bacteria do the digestion of the lactose for you. Like they're called lactic acid bacteria. They use lactase to digest lactose and they produce lactic acid, whatever. Um, so then after they do all this crap to it, then they add additives. So if you go to the milk section, look at the labels: synthetic vitamin A, synthetic vitamin D, DHA, other additives. They claim these are like, vitamins, but milk already should have the vitamins in it. You don't need to add vitamins. And synthetic vitamins are often toxic and, they cause all sorts of digestive and other problems. So then people drink milk and they feel bad and they're like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. And it's like, are you lactose intolerant or are you just like crappy milk intolerant? Are you synthetic vitamin additive intolerant? But people are unable to tell the difference, right? Because going back to what I said before about, words, like it's called milk. So like, oh, I couldn't eat that milk, so therefore I can't eat all milk. Um, and then, they are like, okay, I can't eat milk, so what else you got for me? Almond milk, oat milk, whatever. And then that's how they end up in that rabbit hole. So the only way to fix this is by giving people the actual quality version of the thing. Same thing with corn chips. Oh, I feel terrible after I eat corn chips. So what am I going to do? Throw out the corn, throw out the oils, throw out the seasonings, whatever, and replace it with this like cardboard, you know, Frankenstein conglomeration. But like, no, just have a corn chip. Do you feel bad eating corn chips or do you feel bad eating bad corn chips? Eat good corn chips and you'll feel bad. I eat MASA chips every day for lunch. I feel great, that kind of thing. If I ate seed oil Tostito chips, I'd feel terrible. So, the real solution is to present people with the actual proper version of the food and not like the fake alternative. And so I think it's like, our job is like the influencers of the educators of the world to like teach people about this. That's one piece. But the other piece is like you have to actually get it to the point where those foods are available. I can tell people to drink raw milk until I'm blue in the face, but if there's nowhere for them to get raw milk, they're not going to drink raw milk, obviously. I can tell people to eat tallow fried corn chips until I'm blue in the face, but unless there's tallow fried corn chips they can go buy, they're not going to eat them because no one's going to make that themselves. So we have to actually make it available. And then that's where we run into the problem of like the quality piece because yes, it's expensive. It's harder to make all these things. And so then not only like that poses an additional barrier to like making it available. Um, but that's, so we basically need two. We basically need people, educating, telling people, hey, this is what is right, this is what we have to do. And then you need other people who are making this stuff accessible and available. And it's fighting upstream because we already talked about the economics of like processed foods and like that whole industry. So if you're trying to make real things, you're fighting upstream because MASA chips cost 15 times more than Doritos, like per ounce. Like they're expensive. Like, and they're not that way because I am a grifter and I want to make a ton of money. I like basically make no money. I used to make way more money working at my tech job than I do now. And we sell quite a lot of chips. Um, the the reason why they're expensive is because ingredients are expensive, labor is expensive, and all these other things. Like being small is expensive. For example, Frito-Lay on the shelf at grocery stores. If you buy $10 worth of Frito-Lay chips, whatever, $8 of that goes to Frito-Lay. But if you were to buy $10 of MASA chips, $5 of that goes to me. And the reason is because Frito-Lay is so big, they have special deals with the grocery stores to like get a higher percentage of, the money that the customer spends at the register back to Frito-Lay. And, that's what they can do. They're so big. They're Frito-Lay. I can't do that. So like Frito-Lay, even if we charged the same amount for the same product, Frito-Lay would make more money than I would just because I'm small. Things like that make it very difficult. And it's like the reason why these things are expensive and why it's hard and, it's not that available.